Hey gang, welcome to episode 54 of Find Music. Yeah. We just can't
Okay.
stop finding music, especially when you've got extremely cool people like Murray Thomas, who has an extensive musical background, just like these other two guys.
Yep.
What you got for us today, Murray?
Well, what I got today is a band I saw play last week here in Rochester, and I'm recommending them because, as you'll see, they are on tour and they are going everywhere, pretty literally everywhere in the country. If you want a tagline, I would say if you like the Minutemen, check out MSSV, which is kind of cheating because the bass player for the Minutemen is the bass player for MSSV, but it's still a tagline.
I hear you correctly. MFSB?
MSSV, which stands
SB.
for Main Steam Stop Valve.
Got it.
Okay. Main Steam Stop Valve is
That's just one letter different than a disco.
Okay, but
Okay.
the guy is Mike Watt. If you aren't familiar
Oh
with
yeah.
Mike Watt, okay. I like I say, he played here in Rochester last week. I told all my friends, you know who Mike Watt is, don't you? And they're like, no. Who? Huh? What? So I guess he qualifies as obscure, even though he's not that obscure in Southern California. But I'm going to share the screen so you can get a look at what's going on here. Okay. Okay, here we go. Here's their webpage, MSSV. Mike Baguetta, Stephen Hodges, and then Mike Watt is hiding behind our portraits there. It's like experimental rock, basic bass, drums, guitar trio, but they just go in all sorts of different directions. A lot of hard rock, but some really rhythmic experiments and more open-ended stuff. They mostly instrumental, but some vocals. And then, so here we have their tour. As you may be able to see, they started on March 14th in San Pedro, which is where Mike Watt is from. And they have played almost every single day since, and we're here on April 11th. They're playing Hamtramck, Michigan at Smalls Bar tonight, and then on to Louisville, Kentucky tomorrow, Indianapolis on Wednesday, back to Chicago. Like I say, almost every single day of a month and a half, they're on playing shows. They wind up in Southern California with, not sure if I can, anyway, in Bakersfield on the 27th, Costa Mesa on the 28th, San Diego on the 29th, and close in Los Angeles on April 30th. I highly recommend checking them out. They're just very interesting players. To give an idea of their influences, for their encore, they played a medley of the Stooges and Ornette Coleman. So, like I say, I just really love the show and can't recommend it enough. And so if you're like if you're in Denver or Salt Lake City or Missoula, Montana or Portland, Oregon, you can go see them before the end of the month. And I highly recommend it. Main Steam Stop Valve. There it is. My recommendation for this week.
Hey, we say goodbye to screen share.
Yeah.
We'll say hello to the Minutemen. They lived up to their name in terms of their length of their songs.
Actually, their songs were very short. Yeah, they were a big punk band especially in Southern California in the early 80s. And then their guitarist died. And so they reformed as Firehose. And then, but since then, Mike Watt has played with a bunch of different bands. He also played bass in the Reunited Stooges for all of their shows. So he's got an extensive history in experimental and punk rock.
Okay, so if you like the Minutemen and Firehose, try MSSV.
Yep.
Thank you, Murray.